Hello, Internet. Chris here with the first episode of Chris Plays Sonic the Hedgehog, one of my favorite games of all time. Don't really know what else to say about it, so let's jump right in, shall we?
Sega!
Have the good old Sega chime coming up, which took up like an eighth of the cartridge's storage, if I remember. Go on and press start, and let's do this. Now, I don't know what I'm going to talk about during this. All I know is I'm going to play like I normally do and try to talk at the same time, which is not my forte. I'm screwing up already. No big, no big. It's just one of those things that I always found weird, and is why with a previous project I tried post-commentary, because I honestly can't really talk too well and play a game at the same time. But post-commentary comes up rather boring because I'm just watching myself play a game. It's not really as it's not as lively as actually playing the game. I can normally do Green Hill Zone Act 1 in under 30 seconds, but 35 seconds. It isn't bad, but that's not how I normally play it. It's the same basic idea, but usually a whole lot quicker at it. Like I said, about under 30 seconds. I'm not going to go for anything crazy with this Let's Play, because honestly, I'm not even a fan of Let's Plays, but a friend on here has actually, is doing his own Sonic the Hedgehog playthrough, so I thought I might as well give it a shot to show my playstyle. Because having played these games for 20 some odd years, I've really gotten just this pattern down of how I play Sonic the Hedgehog. 36 seconds again, that's kind of funny. I mean, it's not like the Sonic games are hard to any degree. I wouldn't call them easy, they get difficult, but they're certainly not hard. But the games are somewhat tricky if you don't have them memorized. You start going too fast, you screw up stuff. You know, not a fun time. But in my case, I mostly have the game memorized, but oftentimes I just say forget it and let whatever's going to happen, happen. Like right here, I don't care. I have fond memories of this area, though, playing before I had a Sega Genesis, or at least, yeah, it would have to be before I had a Sega Genesis. No, it was while I had one, because I had Sonic 2, which came with my Genesis, but my friend down the street had a Genesis 1 with Sonic the Hedgehog 1. So he had this game, and I had Sonic 2, so it was always something different to play the original, which was lacking some aspects that were later in Sonic 2. Level designs were a little different, the music, of course, was different. You know, I mean, as a kid, that's what you analyze, or what I did. I don't know what other people did gaming as kids, but I know what I cared about. But, I'd always go over to his place to play Sonic 1, and he never actually came down the street to my house to play Sonic 2, which I found odd. I never brought it down there, so that's why I'm kind of wondering, did I have the Genesis then or not? Because the early 90s is kind of a blur. Of course, it's your childhood. I mean, anyone watching this, how much of your childhood can you really remember and know is accurate? Very little. And there we have the first of our lava immune seals. See the little caterpillars, when they get destroyed, they leave a little seal. I always thought that was cool. Now, how they survive lava, I don't know. But back to what I was talking about. This is going to be a very ADD kind of Let's Play, so I hope whoever watches this enjoys, and if you don't, well, sorry. Best I could do. Might come back to it at some... Damn! Might come back to it at some point is what I was going to say. But that right there, that's a side effect of me, and that right there is a little glitch. I tend to have a weird quirk when I play these games, in that I have the most humorous ways of dying, and I seem to find some of the more random bugs in the game. I'll get killed at, like, areas that just barely should kill you, or just other stuff happens. And I don't really care, it ain't like I haven't beat these 100 times. Never gotten all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 1 or 2, though. I get lazy with Sonic 1, and Sonic 2, I hate the special stages in. I'm sorry, I know there's people out there who love Sonic 2's special stage, but I don't. End of story. Now, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, I've gotten the emeralds for everybody. All the emerald sets. So, everyone's super and hyper forms, where they be. I had my cartridge, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles together, had everybody. I had to do that several times, because when a friend would borrow it, there was every once in a while he'd borrow my copy of Sonic 3. His Genesis wouldn't act right, and he didn't know to immediately hold reset and let the system down. It was an old, like the power off, it was an old original Nintendo, excuse me, habit. I cannot play a game and talk at the same time. Let the system down? What am I trying? Am I speaking English? Seriously, someone comment. Am I speaking English through this Let's Play? Just remind me, because otherwise I'd love to know what language I am talking. Point. He wouldn't hold down reset, which was a habit I developed from the Nintendo era, and it actually worked. Sonic 3, for some reason, it sometimes wouldn't show the saves, and it was whatever. I just hold down reset, cut the power, and I don't know how I knew that it had an effect, but it seemed to cause the system to jump back to the battery backed up memory and everything was good. Like, it didn't cause any problems. But if you played the game and didn't do that, it overwrote the SRAM. So, that was the end of my game data. At least at that point, which really sucked. It pissed me off, but it wasn't that crucial. But, you know, as a kid, everything's important. Why I jumped, I don't know. But, you know, it's whatever. I mean, it's old news now, but I'm just thinking as I play the game. I always thought this lava chase was pretty cool. And these side spikes. Sonic 1 was the only game to do spikes like this. So for one thing, when you go in debug mode, the spikes are individual spikes that had to be placed manually, rather than the groupings of 3 that they were in Sonic 2 and later. And of course the double hit kill bug, or being hit with spikes twice, would result in instant death. So even while you're in that invulnerable phase. On some of the Sonic prototypes, there's some funny bugs. Sonic 2, since there's like no Sonic 1 prototypes out there, some Sonic 2 prototypes still had the spike bug, and others also had a little bug where spikes that were coming from the top, like from the ceiling, didn't do damage. And I can't remember for 100%, but I do believe there's no cases where there's actually spikes on top of any ceilings in Sonic 1. Again, don't quote me on that, but I don't recall anywhere in the game. I always used to love doing this when I'd go over to the friend's place to play Sonic 1. He thought it was so cool that I could do that. He was a few years younger than me, a great kid, but, you know, he wasn't the best at Sonic. Although, to be fair, I remember me and my friends had difficulty beating the game. It was mainly Labyrinth Zone, because he and I hated Labyrinth Zone. Then, of course, the wait for these things. Always annoying. There I go doing that again. I promise, I'm not terrible at the games, I just don't care right now. Like, I'm legitimately just goofing around just 'cause. I'm not a speedrunner, I'm not one of those tool-assisted speedrunners, I'm just a guy playing a game, recording the game, and commenting for whoever actually watches it. You know, those paintings in the background right there look like I don't know why, they look like some sort of like wizard from Chrono Trigger or some rejected Final Fantasy villain or something. I don't know. It's just what I think of anyway. Maybe something from Secret of Mana. I don't know. There, level's done. I like Marble Zone, but the levels are somewhat annoying. And the good news is my favorite zone's coming up next, Spring Yard. I love that one. And in case anyone's noticed that the background is scrolling more than you'd probably be used to, depending on if you're in the United States or Europe watching this, which of course I'm in the US because 1, you can tell from the accent, 2, I call it a Genesis rather than a Megadrive. Don't know why, saying Megadrive just doesn't sound right. Again, I don't know why I don't like it, because that's the actual name of the console even in Japan, but Point is, I'm actually using the Japanese version of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, so I like the fact that the level order is the correct layout in level select, as in it's the Japanese order and what would be the final proper order rather than the originally intended one, which is what the US level select lists. Yeah, I'm a dork with that kind of stuff. But you also have the fact that there's more layers of parallax scrolling in the background, which is the whole darn point of what I'm trying to say. It just makes the levels more interesting to look at. You know, I run through them, the stars and starlight zones scroll better, everything just looks kind of nicer. Now, don't get me wrong, I have the game on my Genesis here, you know, had to buy a new one because you lose stuff over the years, but yeah. I have a copy of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, US copies, no big deal. I enjoy playing them, but if I'm going to play an emulator, I might as well play the Japanese version. Which it's funny that the Japanese version came out later than the US one. I forget exactly how late, but yeah, that's not the point. The point is they did change a few things. Which I think also includes a bug or two being fixed. But not the spike, well, the spike situation was never really a bug. I believe it was intentional, but I can't be 100% sure. I think people at Sega have said it was a bug, but it just seems like something that you would have fixed real quick. I don't know, I'm just thinking here. More of the seals. Free the animals. Still think those spikes are cool coming out of the wall. I'm also a big fan of that little jump glitch right there where Sonic jumps and sort of does a spacewalk. You know, something I'm not a fan of are the newer Sonic games, and I know people are gonna hate me over that, but when I played like Sonic Adventure in like the 99, 2000 range over at friends' places, or even just the demonstration kiosks for the Dreamcast, I'd go over to Target and play. I was just like, no, I don't like this. It didn't feel right at all, and again, I know a lot of people would probably want to give me flack for that. I'm not saying they're bad games, I'm just saying I don't like them and they don't feel like correct Sonic games to me. I mean, you'd laugh if I said Sonic ran too fast in them, because that's kind of his point, but the game's platforming elements don't work too well, and Sonic's running is just kind of to me. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it. That's really about all I can say on that. Favorite zone, Spring Yard. And what's funny is I have a friend who hates Spring Yard Zone's music. I absolutely love it. Why not skip over part of the level? And get hit like 5 times in a row. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know about you, but these always reminded me of those fire wands in Super Mario Brothers in the castles. Of course, I'm sure they reminded everybody of that. Hell, they were probably inspired by it. The story behind Sonic the Hedgehog's original concept is that, I forget who it was. It might have been Yuji Naka, might have been somebody else who wanted to see how quick they could get through, or came up with the idea because of how often they had to play through level 1 of Super Mario Brothers to get to the World Select, you know, the little hidden pipes and all. So they came with the idea of a character whose whole principle was that he was really fast, and the idea of getting through levels as quickly as possible. Which isn't the point of Sonic the Hedgehog by any means. I remember when going this fast would be impossible for me as a kid. Like, going through levels in 30 seconds wasn't going to happen. But, this was a minute 29, sure, but you know what I mean. But, I remember, you know, that when I played these, I was always like, oh man, you know, this is kind of tricky, because, I mean, the game's a solid platformer. People, wrong way. People always talk about, oh, Sonic games, gotta go fast, you know, there's the gotta fast memes going on right now. And, you know, the games are they're fast, yeah, I mean, sure, but it's not, you know, Mario could run, and that's not what the principle is. The principle is the precision gameplay, making those proper jumps, moving at that speed efficiently. But, you know, it is what it is. People take the games for what they are. At least I would hope they do. Another thing you'll notice about Sonic 1 that's different from the others is rings tend to be placed a little closer together. I can never do this jump. Like, here's a part that I actually genuinely am just terrible at, because I never time myself properly. Sonic 1, little bit different level design, like I was saying. Some levels focus more on just straight up platforming, others more on the idea of just getting there. Spring Yard, definitely more about precision controls mixed in with some speed sections. Do love these little areas. I forget it. Take down the Caterkiller. Never understood what's up with the Caterkiller just sitting there and opening itself up for a moment and then just that's it. But whatever. And then the jump. There's actually 2 flags, or signposts. Yeah, signposts in this level. One up top and one at the bottom. In the original level order, this was the last level where you could get one of those giant gold rings to go to the special stage. After that was Act 3, which of course ends with Robotnik, followed by, well, that ended quickly. Followed by the Scrap Brain Zone, which does not give you any rings at the end, none of the gold rings. So it was your last chance to get a emerald. I don't know why they chose that, but I guess it was a test to see if they could, and the developer liked it, so they left it in. Oh, that went terrible. Normally I jump off that and just bound like a mile down that little sort of canyon he set over there. I'll jump over here and then just boom, be over there. But nope, not gonna happen now. Instead, I'm stuck playing stupid pinball. In fact, sometimes I bounce so quickly, I'll hit that 10 ring box and then immediately bounce into a spike ball before the rings have tallied, so I'll kill myself before I get the ring total. It's really funny. I think I've got video of it stored on the system. I might actually upload that to accompany this. Not sure. I'd have to hunt for it, or I'll just record it. No commentary. Because again, I'm sitting here thinking of what to talk about. So half my you know, efforts in playing the game and trying to talk. I believe you go down on this one. I'm not sure. Oh, I hate it when this happens. You know how I mentioned this is my favorite level? Yeah. Still never really memorized it. I know that stuff comes up, but I don't know when it comes up. Go figure. But this actually used to be an accomplishment. I don't know if it was childhood ADD or what it would be, but oftentimes me and friends would never actually get this far. Me and friends, my friends and I. Which one's actually correct? My friends and me? Right, my friends and I. Welcome to English by Chris. Please note that Chris does not speak good enough English to be a worthwhile, screw it. Can't even come up with a joke. That over there, too. I never mentioned that. There's if you look through the video, you'll see the signs that... Can't talk and play a game at the same time. If you look, you'll see these signs that say cope over, usually around those little pinball-looking sections. I always thought that was funny because the level's kind of annoying, so it's like basically the game saying deal with it. No rings, no problem. As a kid, I never knew that you could actually hit Robotnik when he's flying overhead. So we had to let him grab like nearly all the blocks to be able to hit him. Just didn't think about it. And that's actually going to conclude this portion of the Let's Play because I want to be ready for Labyrinth Zone. I'm going to go get something to eat and come back and record the next section. So, thanks for watching. Catch you later.